Almonds present an interesting case study in how we think about brain-supportive foods, particularly in relation to NAD plus metabolism and mitochondrial function. They're nutrient-dense, widely available, and have been studied fairly extensively, but we need to separate the legitimate science from the marketing hype that surrounds them. Let's examine what almonds actually offer and where the evidence gets weak. The biological connection to NAD+ and brain health operates through several mechanisms. Almonds contain healthy fats, primarily monounsaturated fats similar to those in avocados and olive oil. These fats support cellular membrane integrity, including in neurons and mitochondria. They also provide vitamin E, a fat-soluble antioxidant that protects against lipid peroxidation. Since the brain is highly vulnerable to oxidative damage due to its high fat content and metabolic activity, this protection is genuinely valuable. Almonds also contain magnesium, which is a cofactor in over 300 enzymatic reactions, including many involved in energy metabolism. Magnesium deficiency, which is surprisingly common in Western populations, can impair mitochondrial function and energy production. By providing magnesium, almonds support the biochemical environment in which NAD+ functions. Additionally, almonds contain small amounts of B vitamins and tryptophan, which can contribute to NAD+ synthesis through various pathways. However, let's discuss some significant concerns. First, almonds are calorie-dense, about 160 calories per 1 ounce serving, which is roughly 23 almonds. It's very easy to overeat almonds because they're portable, don't require preparation, and have a pleasant taste. I've watched people consume a half cup or more of almonds as a healthy snack without realizing they're taking in 400 to 500 calories. For someone trying to maintain metabolic health, this mindless snacking can be problematic. Second, there's the issue of phytic acid. Almonds, like all nuts and seeds, contain phytic acid, which can bind to minerals like iron, zinc, and magnesium, reducing their bioavailability. While phytic acid isn't entirely bad, it also has antioxidant properties. It does mean that the magnesium content in almonds isn't fully absorbable. Soaking almonds can reduce phytic acid content, but most people eat them raw without soaking. The omega-6 to omega-3 ratio in almonds is also something to consider. Almonds are relatively high in omega-6 fatty acids and contain essentially no omega-3s. While omega-6 aren't inherently inflammatory when consumed in reasonable amounts, the Western diet is typically already very high in omega-6 relative to omega-3s. Adding large quantities of almonds could potentially worsen this imbalance. There's also the sustainability question. California produces about 80% of the world's almonds, and almond farming is incredibly water-intensive, consuming roughly 1 gallon of water per almond. During severe droughts, almond farming has been implicated in depleting aquifers and harming ecosystems. Additionally, almond farming is heavily dependent on industrial beekeeping for pollination, and the stress this places on bee colonies may contribute to colony collapse disorder. Let's talk about almond products too. Almond milk, almond butter, and almond flour are heavily marketed as healthy alternatives, but they're quite different from whole almonds. Commercial almond milk is often mostly water with minimal actual almond content, plus added sugars, stabilizers, and preservatives. Some of these additives may promote inflammation or gut dysfunction, counteracting any potential brain benefits. Almond butter can be healthy if it's just ground almonds, but many commercial varieties add sugar and palm oil. One concern that doesn't get enough attention: pesticide residues. Conventionally grown almonds are heavily sprayed with pesticides, and while levels in the final product are supposedly within safety limits, chronic low-level exposure to multiple pesticides has been linked to neurological problems in some studies. Organic almonds are significantly more expensive, creating another accessibility issue. For people with nut allergies, obviously almonds are dangerous and potentially life-threatening. Nut allergies are one of the most common food allergies and can be severe. We also need to consider people with diverticulitis or certain digestive conditions who may need to avoid nuts due to concerns about small particles irritating inflamed tissue. The realistic recommendation for brain health would be 1 to 2 ounces of almonds daily, roughly 23 to 46 almonds, preferably organic and ideally soaked overnight to reduce phytic acid. They should be eaten as part of meals or planned snacks, not mindlessly throughout the day. In conclusion, almonds offer modest support for brain health through their healthy fats, magnesium, and antioxidants, which indirectly support the metabolic environment for NAD+ function.